Welcome students. Today, we are going to see part 2 of week number 17. In part 2 of week number 17, we are going to discuss about the topic of soft soldering and hard soldering. Let's see the objectives of this topic. You shall be able to state the composition of various types of solders. State the heating medium of soldering iron. State the method of soldering. State soldering joint. First, we are going to see the definition of soft soldering. The process of joining metals using tin lead solders, which melt below 420 degrees Celsius, is known as soft soldering. Now, we can see the process of soft soldering one by one. First, preparing the workpiece. Second, select the correct soft solder. Third, preparing the soldering iron. Fourth, select and apply suitable flux. Fifth, heat the soldering iron bit and the workpiece to the correct temperature. Sixth, manipulating the soldering iron on the workpiece skillfully. And finally, complete the job to a satisfactory standard. And now, we are going to see the melting characteristics of soft solders. The eutectic alloy of tin lead solder is a mixture of 63% tin and 37% lead. 63/37 solder melts at 1830 degrees Celsius and is the lowest melting point of all combinations in the alloy series. Next, we can see the attitude of the solder bit. The soldering iron bit should be placed in a position that enables sufficient heat and solder to flow into the joint. The angle between a working face of the bit and the joint surface should be filled with a pocket of solder. The pattern of the bit movement ensures successful heating of the solder deposited. When the point of the bit covering the joint opening penetrate through the lap. Let's see the definition of next heading. Hard solder. The process of joining metals using hard solders, consisting of copper, zinc, cadmium, and silver, which melt above 600 degrees Celsius, is known as hard soldering. Brazing is a hard soldering process used to join copper, brass, and most ferrous metals. Silver brazing, or silver soldering, is a process used to join steel, copper, bronze, and brass, and precious metals like gold and silver. Then next, we are going to discuss about brazing. Brazing is essentially similar to soldering, but it gives a much stronger joint than soldering. Filler materials used in this process may be divided into two classes: copper base alloys and silver base alloys. After brazing, the joint must be hammered to check the leakages and to remove flux. Now, we can see the silver brazing of copper pipes by gas, a low temperature brazing method, also called by other names such as silver soldering, hard soldering. Its temperature range is 600 degrees Celsius to 850 degrees Celsius. Silver brazing Filler rods are composed of copper and silver, with a small percentage of zinc, cadmium, and nickel. Silver content may vary from 40 to 60%. We are going to see the next heading is applications of silver brazing. Joining electrical parts requiring high electrical conductivity. Food handling and processing equipment. Stainless steel. Economy in brazing operation requiring a low temperature, thin layer, quick and complete penetration. Now, we can see the methods of soldering. The first method is soldering irons. Second one is torch soldering. Third one is dip soldering. Fourth one is wave and cascade soldering. Fifth one is oven soldering. And the last method is resistance soldering. After the method of soldering, we are going to discuss about soldering joint. Sheet metal components are joined together by soldered joints. In many cases, the edges are joined by sheet metal, mechanical joints, and then soldered to make the joint stronger and leak-proof. Next, we are going to see how to select the soldering joint. First, a suitable filler alloy must be used. Second, joint clearances should be minimum. Third, the solder must contact lapped surface sufficiently. And last, workpieces must be firmly supported. And the last heading is application of soldering joint. The first one is soldered lap joints. Second one is soldered seams. Third one is soldered joint on round-shaped parts. And the fourth one is sheet metal joints, both lapped and folded, are suitable for silver soldering. With the remembrance of this topic, we are going to play a quiz game. The question is, what is the melting point of 63/37 solder? The options are A. 100 degrees Celsius, B. 450 degrees Celsius, C. 0 degrees Celsius, D. 1830 degrees Celsius. And the answer is D. 1830 degrees Celsius. With this, we are completed the topic of soft solder and hard solder. We have completed all the topics of week number 17. Thank you.